Hello guys, welcome back to the channel today, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top English youth prospects in Football Manager 2018. We've already taken a look at the Italian youth prospects. You'll find a link to those in the description down below if you haven't already seen them. So today then we are going to look at England, and first of all we're going to have a look at the goalkeeper. We're going to start from top to bottom really. So we're going to start off with Will Mannion, who's currently 19 years of age. Contracted to Hull, he came over from AFC Wimbledon via a compensation tribunal deal. He's had a couple of appearances in real life for the under-19s, and although he's a work in progress prospect, I think he's going to develop into a really good first team England goalkeeper in the future. He's only 19 years of age, so there's plenty of room and plenty of time in which he can improve. And obviously we're going to come back and look at these at 5 and 10 years in the future, the same as the Italian ones that we've done already. So that is Will Mannion. He's the first one on the list. So now we're going to take a look at Joe Gomez, Liverpool centre-back, and he has been likened to Rio Ferdinand in real life. He was part of the under-17s that won the 2014 European Championships, under-17s European Championships that is, and he's a very good player. He's had a few sparing appearances for Liverpool, hasn't played for them for a while, but he's obviously going to improve into a really good player. He's 20 years of age as things stand. His stats are pretty good across the board. There's a room for improvement obviously, but I thoroughly expect him to become one of the best English defenders on the game, and obviously we're going to have a look in the future, and I expect to be rewarded. I think this player is going to be a very, very good player in the future. Now after Joe Gomez we move on to Axel Werner, and he plays for Manchester United. He's valued at 17 million. I'd say he's probably valued a little bit over the top, but I thoroughly expect him to develop into one of the best central defence, particularly from an England point of view in the game. I think he'll form a really good partnership with Joe Gomez in that position in the future. He's got a lot of developing to do. He's not as rounded as Joe Gomez is, particularly in the technical areas on the pitch, but he's got time to develop, and he might have to look away from Manchester United in which to do that, because obviously they've got a wealth of talent within that squad already. So it'd be interesting to see how his career will pan out, but I thoroughly expect him to become one of the top English prospects, or well, he already is a top English prospect, one of the top English players in the future. So that will complete Axel Werner. Next we will move on to another Liverpool man in Trent AlexanderArnold. Now Trent AlexanderArnold has made a breakthrough into the Liverpool first team this season, and from what we can see here, he's 18 years of age. His stats are already absolutely blinding. His technicals, mentals, physicals are very, very good over a wide variety of areas. He can play in a lot of positions: defensive midfielder, right hand wing back, right full back, right midfield, and you can develop him into a centre midfielder as well if that's the route you wish to go down. But I think he's going to be a really versatile and really top end player for Liverpool for many years to come. Thoroughly expect him to take up that right full back position from Kyle Walker in the future. And I think Trent AlexanderArnold is one of the most exciting English players that we've got on the game at the moment, and I'm looking forward to see how he will develop in the future, particularly whether he stays at Liverpool or whether perhaps he might end up playing over in Spain or whatever. So yeah, that is Trent AlexanderArnold. Next on the list, and we're down in the Championship for this one, and it is the highly touted and much lauded Ryan Sessegnon from Fulham. He plays in the left wing back position. He can also play on the left wing as an attacking midfielder if required, but he usually is found in the left full-back, left wing-back kind of position. Now, Ryan Sessegnon has a lot of developing to do at this current stage, but he's only 17 years of age. He developed really well and in good time on Football Manager 2017, and which I thoroughly expect him to do so on 2018 as well. I believe he's a little bit better than he was on FM18, which is fair because he's been really good for the England Young Lions, so I'm expecting them to do really well with him here. I imagine he's going to move on to a Premiership club in the non too distant future, so it'd be interesting to see again how his career will pan out on this game. And Ryan Sessegnon is one of the most exciting young players, particularly under the ages of 18, that we've got at the moment, so it's going to be good to see how he develops over time in 5 and 10 years time, and just see how his career progresses. Now we move on to one of the more experienced players on the game, and in this list it is Lewis Cook. He's played a lot of games for Leeds United over the 3-year period between 2013 and 2016. He's moved to Bournemouth and he's played 6 games for them. He was really good for me on my 2017 early Bournemouth save, which I did when I started my channel, and he developed into one of the really, really best central midfielders on the game for England. So I'm thoroughly expecting him to do a similar thing on this. I think perhaps his technicals could do with some improvement, but his mentals and physicals are really good, aside from that jumping reach stat, which could be improved upon. But I think, you know, with regular game time, which he should in theory get at Bournemouth, he should improve quite rapidly. I think in 3 or 4 years time, I think we'll see a much more rounded player. So I'm looking forward to going and checking out how he gets on. But yeah, Lewis Cook is the next man on the list. And next up, we're going to go with Everton's Tom Davies. Now, Tom Davies has had some bit part performances to start things off. He scored that wonderful goal against Man City, which you'll remember. But he's played a few games for Everton now, and he's really starting to come into his own at the forefront of that team. His mental stats are really good. His physicals are improving all the time. His technicals need a bit of work, much the same as Lewis Cook and a couple of the other lads that we've looked at already need to. But he's 19 years of age. The age is on the right side of him, and I thoroughly expect him to go on and play a lot of games for the English national team in this edition of the game. He's got a really good eye for goal. He's got very good vision. His work rate is good. His passing is very good from what I've seen of him in real life. And I fully expect him to be a very, very decent player. He's capable in the defensive mid and central mid roles, and could also double up as an attacking midfielder if you have any injury worries or whatever. But yeah, Tom Davies is the next man on the list, which leaves us with another Fulham player. This one is Matt O'Reilly. He's 16 years of age and pretty much hasn't really been seen much to date. I do think he's going to become a really good player though. His stats are already on the way up to what you'd expect for a lad of his age. He's probably a little bit more than what you'd expect for his age, and I think he's going to be a very, very good player in the future if his career progresses the way it is at the moment. Now, there's been a few rumours around the footballing world that Matt O'Reilly is very highly regarded, and providing that Fulham give him the game time he needs, much the same that Ryan Sessegnon has in real life and on this game, if they play him in this game, I think Matt O'Reilly is going to develop into one of the smartest central midfield prospects there is out there. That is a big call, but I like the look of his stats, I like the look of his abilities and stuff. But yeah, Matt O'Reilly is next on the list. So we're doing it a little bit different. We're kind of leaving out the more, I'd say more obvious, but we have got a few obvious players in there. So yeah, let's move on to the next one anyway. And obviously, as we've just said, it is one of the more obvious ones, and it is Harry Winks from Tottenham, who's done really well for them this season in real life. And 21 years of age, he's one of the oldest players. Well, he is possibly the oldest player on this list. He's got very decent mental stats. His physical stats are good, as are his technicals. A few which need improving, particularly in that central midfield role, are his heading and positioning. And you know, I think that said though, he's well known. He's got really good view to improving in the future. At that sort of age, I expect him to be breaking through into the England team in the next couple of years. He's already made brief appearances in real life. And I think Harry Winks is a very smart player, and I think Football Manager 18 is where you're going to see him really develop into one of the top end central midfielders on the game. So looking forward to seeing his development for sure. But I think the player I'm most excited about is Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho. Now, he had the option to stay at Man City, but he chose to go to Borussia Dortmund instead, which is a bold call really for a lad of his age, but he liked the way that football was done out there, and he's made the move to go and play more regular football, and fair play to him. I hope it pays off. So, 17 years of age, Jadon Sancho has already got all the attributes to excel in his position, and I think he's only going to improve. He's got the fantastic footballing team of Borussia Dortmund around him, which is going to help mould him into an excellent player in the future. And he's the player that excites me most, actually, out of all of these England players. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops in 5 years' time and in 10 years' time, and just seeing how he compares to the rest of the lads that we've already looked at. So yeah, Jadon Sancho is the next man on the list. Now, another one of the more obvious players on the list, and we go back to Tottenham again for this one in much the way we did for Harry Winks, but we've got Dele Alli up next. Brilliant player in real life, and also a brilliant player on this game. He's already valued at £48 million. It's going to take a lot of money to prize him away from Tottenham. Started life off at MK Dons before moving to Spurs, and has done fantastically well. He's rounded in all sorts of areas, can play in various central positions, also double up as a winger if absolutely necessary. And he's just going to get better and better. And at 21 years of age, he's going to be a main player for Spurs in the future, and I think he could well go on to someone like Real Madrid or Barcelona or something like that in the future, this save. So we're going to come back and look at that. But yeah, Dele Alli, he needs no introduction really, much the same as a couple of other players that we're going to look at shortly. Reiss Nelson is the next man, the Arsenal under-23s man, 17 years of age, had a golden tournament with the Young Lions recently in real life, and Reiss Nelson is a player which he's going to need a season or two in which to start finding his feet. I think he could do with a loan spell perhaps in the Championship. Looking at his stats there, I think that'll benefit him massively. But at his age, 17 years of age, he's adept in various wide positions. If you can train him and get him more certified in those areas, I think he'll come into a really good adaptable player that you can use around the team, and I think he will become one of the better wide midfield players England have got to call upon. Obviously you've got Jadon Sancho at Borussia Dortmund, but you know, you could have Reiss Nelson down the right and Sancho on the left. I think that's going to be a devilish partnership in the future. So yeah, so Reiss Nelson is the next player on the list, and another in which I'm expecting to improve massively over time. Well, following on from Reiss Nelson is Jonathan Lecco, who's currently on loan from West Brom at Bristol City. And he's going to benefit from being able to play in the Championship. Now, his stats for an 18-year-old are pretty decent, although they do need improvement in a few areas. That said, his ability to take players on, his dribbling is superb, his crossing needs work, and being able to play in the Championship this season on the game is just going to help aid his cause in improving his various stats. I mean, he's not going to get a lot of game time at West Brom at the moment, given his age and his stats as they currently are. So dropping down into Bristol City is going to work wonders for him. He's going to give him the best chance of moulding himself into a better player on this game. And Jonathan Lecco is one that I just had to include. There's loads of players really, to be honest, but I think Jonathan Lecco will surprise a few on this game. I think he's shown quite a bit to date in real life, and I think that's going to continue through onto this game, and I expect him to become certainly probably the best right wing sided player that England will have, alongside Reiss Nelson. Obviously Reiss Nelson is going to probably take that top spot, but I think Lecco won't be too far behind if at all. So yeah, that is Jonathan Lecco. He's the next man on the list. I think we've got a couple of more to go, so let's crack on and have a look. Well, as it turns out, there is just one left to go, and we've saved the best till last. We've got Marcus Rashford, 19 years of age. Very rounded player already valued at £42.5 million at Manchester United. He scored 10 goals in 43 games. He is able to play in so many midfield positions, as well as being a very, very clinical striker. He's got a lot of pace, a lot of acceleration. His fitness is great. His flair is good. His dribbling is good. His finishing and first touch. And that is going to help him in this game, and I thoroughly expect Marcus Rashford, providing that Manchester United stick with him and play him regularly, because they have been known in the past, particularly on FM18, to not give him the game time he needs, and he doesn't develop as he should. But providing they do that, which I think they might do this year because he was more of a regular fixture for Manchester United, Marcus Rashford will probably become the best English player we've got on the game, and I thoroughly expect him to do so. So yeah guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode today. We have been taking a look here at in my opinion, the 15 brightest talents we've got in English football under the ages of 21. Well, up to the age of 21 at the moment. So yeah guys, if you've enjoyed this episode today, remember to leave a like on the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you have any comments, any players that perhaps I might have missed out that you think should be on this list, drop them in the comment section down below. Let me know why, let me know what you think they're going to do in the future, and then when we come back and revisit this video and see how these guys are doing, I might be able to throw a few in as well, so we can have a look at, you know, certain players like, for example, Adema Lookman or Tammy Abraham, players that haven't made the final cut for this list. We can definitely go in and have a look. So guys, until next time, I've been Jamie. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.